Here at BRI Research Institute, we are set up solely to run research. That's our whole focus. Trials are really important, both for a commercial winemaker and also for a researcher. If we stay doing the same thing over and over, we're not going to achieve anything new. We want to check that if we're trying something new in the vineyard, it's not going to impact on wine quality. We can control everything, the temperature, the conditions, the yeast, the amount of yeast added down to a really minute level. BRI will work with you to design a trial based on your needs. We'll take every single aspect of your trial into consideration to make sure that we're running it exactly as you want. It takes that real risk out of trialling something on larger sizes. Here we're dealing with 30 kilo samples rather than 30 tonnes. Having a small size for a trial is a real advantage. We have 17 litre ferments and also larger 200 litre ferments. So it means that you can control exactly what you're wanting to do with exactly the same amount of fruit. So you're getting a direct comparison from, say, one yeast to another, from one enzyme to another. You can try as many different variables as you want. You can also try things in triplicate, which you couldn't do and replicate that in a larger winery, because you want to ensure that the data and the information you're collecting is not just a one-off. The first thing we do is we discuss with the client how they want the trial run, the parameters they want investigated, and we make sure we have a really strong protocol for their particular trial. We're always at the time looking at analysis, both in-house and any more complex analysis we can arrange, right through to bottling, and then we can run sensory trials if you're looking to see how one wine actually stands up against another in terms of both winemakers, and we can also look at consumer trials. A lot of people ask, do they need to supply fruit? And that really depends on the type of client you are. If you're a winery or a vineyard, it's highly likely that you'll have your own fruit that you want to use. If you're, say, a yeast or a nutrient company or a university that doesn't own vineyards, we can provide fruit for you for your trial. The amount of fruit you need for your trial depends on the size of your trial. If we're using the smaller 17 litre ferment vessels, it's usually 30 kilos we work on per 17 litre ferment. If you're looking at the larger 200 litre tanks, we need at least sort of 250 kilos per tank. The trials that we run here at BRI are comparable to a commercial outcome. We've got a range of specialist equipment designed for the BRI that allow for that outcome. We have a specialist crusher destemmer that has a setting that mimics a machine harvester, and if you're here in Marlborough, most of the fruit you're dealing with is machine harvested. We can also deal with juice being dropped off directly from a winery that's been through your own receival processes. Once it goes into fermentation, our tanks have been designed by Tera to mimic the fermentation kinetics of larger tanks. And that really takes out some of those issues with research. A lot of research happens in labs where fermentation happens at 250 ml volumes, whereas our outcomes definitely more mimic a commercial reality. A trial here at Brigato takes the same amount of time as a commercial wine. We receive fruit in March, we're fermenting, finishing, stabilising, analysing, and then we move into bottling between July and October. Following the bottling, we're moving into sensory, further analysis and report writing. So generally a trial takes roughly 6 months. So at the end of a trial, you receive a full report of every step of the winemaking process. You'll receive lab results from any chemical analysis, sensory results, and that gives you real confidence and ability to make decisions based on the outcome of your trial. You can come and talk to us here at the BRI. We'll sit down with you and formulate a plan that follows every single step of the process that you're wanting to look at. We can incorporate any type of analysis or sensory that you're thinking about as well, and it'll make you feel really confident about going forward with your research.